The old bridge was situated right here, across from here to here, where that post is. And the river sweeps down and around the valley there. It was a good bridge. Got swept away once in a big rainstorm, just lifted off, whoosh, that away. We pulled it back up with a tractor, managed to get it back up in place, and that lasted for a couple of years until Cyclone Gabrielle comes through in February 2023 and took everything out. And the water rose right up in here, and the bridge is apparently somewhere way down about 5 kilometres away. But it isn't going to fit there anymore. It used to be about 5 metres, now that'd be about 8, because you can't just go up to the edge, you have to come up here somewhere, otherwise it'll just get undercut. So of course you can't put it back. When it drifted away first, well, okay, that was it. Second time, well, that was a bit stupid, putting it back in the same place. I didn't tie it to a tree or anything over here. And then if I put it back here again, well, that would be just stupid. I like having a bridge so I can easily get to the other side, because I maintain all of this grass and weeds and blackberry, which may be the neighbours, but we look onto it. And over here, this river sweeps around a headland that I call Northcote, and we've got a seat up there, which is quite nice. Not easy to get to now, to clamber up this bank. And the dog wouldn't do it. Would your dog? This is a very pretty stretch of the river with about 7 or 8 cascades, cataracts running down. It's a beautiful sound. That one there is called the Champagne Cataract because it makes beautiful bubbles. See? Bubbles. So I'm going to put the new bridge here, across there, well above that. Tell you why. This is where the bridge is going, from here across over to that bit of wood there. It's about 6.5 metres. It's pretty adventurous for a bridge, actually. So, pull this out of the way, and you can see, without my finger, that the water drops away there, and there's quite a fall down the cataracts down here. So it is flooded up that way and down below, but it's not flooded here because of the drop off here, and water falls away very quickly. So I'm going to put my bridge directly over there. So I'm hoping it'll be safe from floods. Let's go with that. Yeah, it's interesting to see that the rain we had yesterday actually came up there. Interesting. I might move the bridge a little bit left over here, just to make sure it's over the drop-off. Yes, I think I'm going to do that. Because if the water's racing away, then it ain't going to be hitting my bridge. A very pretty stretch of river. Mr. Brown the eel lives in here, and I feed him. I forgot to bring him food now. If I stomp my foot, he will come. And Mr. Brown is a highly reliable eel because he's right here. These big eels are usually females, so he should be Mrs. Brown, but we call him Mr. Brown. And there goes Mr. Brown. He's probably about, definitely over a metre, 1.2, maybe 1.5 metres long. He'll be a bit gutted with me now that I didn't bring food. Amazing creatures. New Zealand freshwater eel. The Maori name is tuna. So I'm going to build the bridge in place because it's way too heavy to get up there. So I'm going to put 3 beams across there, and I'll put them up individually and then join them together on each end, and various other things, including the foot treads. So I'll put one piece on, put a rope over the end, and go over the other side through the water, and then lift it up onto there and do that 3 times. Buried in the grass here is one of my false starts for the bridge. It's a telephone pole we got left to us by the power company when they put in new concrete poles. So I cut it in half just there. It was 10 metres long, 10 and a bit, so that's 5 and a bit. And that was all good. And I had a friend here, and he was going to help me drag it down to the river. There was not a chance in the world of that happening. It is just way too heavy. It's a hardwood, and we couldn't even lift an end off the ground. It was hopeless. And I thought, well, we could drag it with the tractor, drag each half down there and roll it down the bank. But then I realized, of course, that if it rolled into the river, I could not in a million years lift that up. Not a chance. And there's no way to get the tractor to the other side. So it would just stay there. So I didn't want to do that. So there was 2 false starts. 1, they weren't actually long enough anyway. And 2, there's no way we could lift it up and over the river to form a bridge. Not a chance. So now I'm building it in place with purchased wood. And here is my bridge in unassembled form. I could buy 6.0 metre links, but it would be too hazardous to carry on my trailer, too much overhang. So I had to take 4.8. My wife told me that, which means I have to add a 1.8 piece onto each to make them 6.6 metres long, which will be the bridge span. 3 of them are going to be for the bridge beams, and the other 2 are going to be used for the 2 the extending pieces. 3 1.8s that'll come out on the end and then bolted on, which bolts are in that box. Then I'll find out which way the natural curve of the bits of wood are, and how the curve will be up. So I'll add the pieces on up here, then cart them down on a trolley one by one. I can't assemble it here. It will be way too heavy for me to move again, and I won't be able to lift it up onto the other side. It's quite some months later. The bridge beams have been drying out inside, and they're much lighter now. So they're 4.8 metre lengths of 200 by 50. The 4.8 is not enough. I need 6.5. So I'm adding 1.7 on there, and I've overlapping with a 1.2 metre, which is 600 mil each side, and I'm putting M10 bolts to bolt that together. It's not ideal to have a join, but what can I do? You can't even buy anything more than 4.8 in normal supplies. So let's see how it works out. This is an M10 bolt, 10 millimetre. flip it over and put the nuts and washers on the other end. I flipped it vertically and I've written up on here because I've already used a string line to establish that this is the bow side up, so it'll have most strength if that side's up. A washer and a nut. Reasonably tight is probably okay. Most of the support will be on the friction of the face-to-face here. And over time it'll probably get even more so. It's not too bad. Why? Because it's actually touching here. Where is it? So I'm not going to be able to tighten that up. And that's not too good. So I think I'm going to put one bolt in here, then undo this clamp, and then clamp it into another position. That's what I'm going to do. I've used the clamp to pull it up level. Quite pleased with that. So the gap is opened up here. I was touching at the bottom. So accuracy past that is sort of beyond me, I think, really. But I got a feeling there's so much friction holding those, we aren't going to get any movement. Quite happy with that. I'm going to put now, I've got surplus 8mm bolts. I'm going to put some 8mm bolts in there, just because I got them. It's strange how things like that happen, because this is flush, that's flush. They were cut with a square. So how does it end up like that? Maybe I used the raw end here. Should I worry about that? I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so we've got 16 bolts in there, 8 M10s, 8 M8s, and the washers are embedded a bit into the wood, and as the wood gets wet, it's going to swell around those, so they're going to become very tight. I refuse to worry about that gap. A 6.5 metre bridge beam, 200 by 50. Heaps of bolts, 16 of them. A dog. It's ready to go. Gumboots at the ready. Here it is, huffing and puffing. Dropped my phone halfway down. Now I got to get this end over to there. I think it involves getting wet. Okay, that was pretty easy actually. We just tied this yellow rope onto one end and I pulled it across. There was no trouble whatsoever, in fact. Now we just have to do 2 more and then nail the ends on, and they'll stand up upright. They're not going this way, it's going that way. But tomorrow, with a bit of luck. Fantastic. All my maths so far has been okay. Okay, beams 2 and 3 are ready to go down to the river. Again, we've got 16 bolts per join. Hopefully that's an overkill, but it is what it is. I've got 4 pieces of decking which I'll use to hold up the 2 ends temporarily, and the drill and driver to do that, to put them in, and we're ready to go and cart it on this little machine which coped very well yesterday. Here comes my helper and the dog, ready for launching 2 and 3 over the river. Just pulling them with this rope. Not going to film that, I don't think. Whee! Okay, they're over. Now I'll just straighten them up on their edge using these things with my drills. All very temporarily. Happy though. And there it is, with help from my wife, the rope which she pulled them over, and I've nailed these bits in to keep them vertical, to stop them bowing. Now all I have to do is buy some end pieces, two 1 meter pieces, and a whole bunch of treads, maybe a handrail. 6.5 meters. It's quite a long span. We've come right up onto the bank to take account of any erosion that may happen. Okay, Joey and I are back here just to do a bit of measurement for the width of the treads, because I'm going to cut them up at the house and then bring them down here. So my wife and I came back. We had to release the links from the things we put to support them, so we could make it parallel, get the ends nailed on both sides, and make it sit on the supports we've got on the ground. You can see one over there, and then make sure it's level as well too. That was quite a bit of work actually, forcing it into place. The piece in the middle underneath is screwed on firmly, trying to stop it warping and keeping the distance straight between them. Quite pleased with that. So it's actually virtually done now, apart from nailing on a whole lot of bits of wood. I haven't got enough wood yet, so I'll put some on to about here, and that'll tell me how many I need to buy. It's going to be fantastic to get access over it here again. I can clamber over there, but it'll just mean I can just walk straight across. Got my nails, bits of wood, hammer, saw, little trolley full of planks. I'll only have a metre or so I could be able to do. Joey's helping me, aren't you, Joey? Got 6 in. For a spacer, I'm using one of the boards. It's a little wider than normal, make it cheaper. Join some cut links in the middle. Going well. Joey's relaxed. Joey? Joe? Right, I've got those pieces on, and I've calculated I've got 5 more meters to go, and I've got 9 per meter, so I need 45 by 1 meter, so I need 45 meters to do the rest of it, which is 4.8 meter lengths. So whatever that is, it's about 10 lengths, I think. Really? I'll recalculate that. Some nails bent over there. Need my crowbar to get it out, because they're rib nails. If they bend over, you can't get them out with a claw hammer. So I've got 5 meters to go. So that means I need 11 times 4.8 meters. That'll do it. Still seems a lot. I'm going to walk on it. Bit wobbly, maybe, but it's okay. It's okay. Eels won't get me. Very happy with that. I'm just going to cut off the ends with the chainsaw. Right, I calculated I need 8 and a bit, so call it 9 4.8 meter lengths. So I calculated that by, there's 5 meters left, and divided it by 120, which is the tread plus the gap, which I'd forgotten about the gap before. And that gives 8 and a bit. Happy with that. Okay, I'm back again about 10 days later. Hasn't advanced any, but I have got the wood treads. It's about 60 here. The wood supplier cut them up for me. I hope they're the right measurements. So now I just have to nail them on. Because it's pine, I don't have to pre-drill or anything, so it's relatively easy. Got my knee pads on. It's moving along. I put on about 1.5 meters. These are the nails that I'm using. 75mm annulated nails. They've got these rings around here, so you can't pull them out. So if it bends over you, you can only break them off. You can't get them out. I called them ribbed, but apparently that's not appropriate. And they're annulated. Getting close now. Only 1.5 meters to go, maybe. I think I've got enough wood. It's quite interesting how the wood over here, which has been on for 10 days, is really yellowed quickly versus the fresh wood. But that's pine for you. Really only a few boards to go now. Just used 2 half pieces, cut them off. I've already been right across and standing on the ground, as has the dog. He ran across at high speed. Yay, it's finished. may still put a handle up for balance. Handle, railing, something like that. But technically it's finished. Walking, turning, returning. And this is the inauguration of the bridge, which is now called Skull Bridge to Skull Island. How spooky is that? Beware all you trespassers who go on the bridge.